let's talk about 3 vegetables you might want to reconsider, as they could potentially impact your nerve health and blood flow. Have you ever experienced that strange tingling or a numb sensation in your feet for no apparent reason? Or perhaps you felt a peculiar swelling or a sense of heaviness right after getting out of bed. It's worth asking if the foods you're eating might be contributing to these unusual feelings. Even though we often hear about how great vegetables are for our health, it turns out that certain ones may not be the best choice for everybody, particularly if you're already dealing with nerve or circulation-related issues. The truth is, these particular foods have the potential to interfere with your blood flow, which can lead to that uncomfortable numbness or tingling in your feet. A lot of us actually eat them on a daily basis, completely oblivious to the long-term impact they could be having on our nervous system and overall vascular health. In this discussion, I'm going to walk you through 15 different foods that scientific research indicates could be connected to these problems. And that list includes 3 vegetables that you might be surprised to learn aren't as beneficial for nerve health as commonly believed. The very last one on our list is especially important, because consuming too much of it can really contribute to circulation problems and a great deal of discomfort. For anyone who is managing conditions like diabetes, neuropathy, or just generally poor circulation, taking a second look at these foods could be a key step toward improving how you feel. Your body often sends out subtle signals as clues to what's going on. The real question is, are you paying attention? Stay with me to discover which foods could be silently affecting your well-being and learn about the practical steps you can take to better support both your nerve and circulatory systems. Number 13. Processed hamburgers. Next on our list, at number 13, we have processed hamburgers. If you're regularly dealing with numbness, tingling, or swollen feet, it's very likely that these convenient burgers aren't doing you any favors. These go-to fast food options are typically filled with trans fats, saturated fats, and various additives that can trigger an inflammatory response in the body, which can negatively impact your blood flow in the long run. As inflammation accumulates in your system, it has the potential to impede circulation, which can make any existing nerve-related discomfort feel much more pronounced. Another thing to consider is the high sodium content. These burgers are often packed with a surprising amount of salt, which can cause fluid retention and leave your feet feeling uncomfortably puffy or heavy. Have you ever considered that your quick lunch could be directly linked to how your body feels later? Furthermore, the additives and preservatives that are used to give these burgers a long shelf life can also put a strain on your system, which may affect your circulation. The trans fats, which are prevalent in many frozen or pre-made varieties, have been shown to elevate bad cholesterol while diminishing the good kind, placing an extra burden on your blood vessels. Over time, this could certainly influence the comfort you feel in your extremities. The good news is that making a switch to homemade burgers using lean meat and fresh ingredients can help relieve some of that pressure on your nerves and circulation. If tingling or numbness is something you're already familiar with, making smart dietary adjustments can truly make a difference. What you decide to eat really does shape your overall well-being, so making more informed choices could bring you genuine relief. Number 12. Instant soups. Do you believe instant soups are a fast and harmless meal choice? It might be time to reconsider. These highly convenient products are often filled with exceptionally high levels of sodium, frequently containing more than your entire daily recommended allowance in a single serving. This sodium overload causes your body to retain fluid, which makes your feet swell and obstructs proper circulation. When your system senses an overabundance of salt, it holds onto water to help dilute it, which places pressure on your blood vessels and limits the flow of blood to your extremities, ultimately resulting in numbness and tingling. However, sodium isn't the sole culprit here. The chemical additives and preservatives found in these soups can lead to what is known as silent inflammation, which does further damage to your circulation and can exacerbate peripheral neuropathy, a condition that has a direct impact on the sensitivity in your feet. To compound the problem, instant soups are generally devoid of real nutrition. They essentially provide empty calories that can overwhelm your kidneys and liver, which intensifies fluid retention and leaves you feeling even more bloated. If you're already grappling with circulatory problems or tingling sensations in your feet, consuming these soups frequently is only going to make your situation worse. Instead, try swapping out instant soups for a homemade broth filled with fresh vegetables and a lean source of protein. Your circulation and nerve health will definitely be grateful. And be sure to keep watching because later on you'll find out about the 3 worst vegetables for your feet. Number 11. Ready-made cakes and cake mixes. Is there anyone who doesn't enjoy the aroma of a cake baking in the oven? But if you find yourself dealing with numbness in your feet, those handy cake mixes might be making your condition worse. These pre-made cakes are loaded with refined sugars and hydrogenated fats, which are 2 of the biggest offenders when it comes to poor circulation. A high intake of sugar leads to sharp spikes in blood glucose, and over time, this can damage your blood vessels and diminish blood flow to your extremities, causing increased tingling and numbness. At the same time, hydrogenated fats are known to raise bad cholesterol while lowering the good kind, which encourages the development of arterial blockages that further restrict circulation. The outcome of this is often swelling, tingling, and a worsening of numbness in your feet. But there's more to it than just that. These mixes are also formulated with preservatives and artificial flavorings that can set off inflammation, a process that can harm your peripheral nerves and make your symptoms feel even more severe. The upside is that you don't need to eliminate cake from your life altogether. Instead, you can opt for homemade recipes that use whole grains, a reduced amount of sugar, and healthy oils like olive or coconut oil. This allows you to protect your circulation and nerve health without giving up a delicious treat. Number 10. Industrialized French fries. Crispy and satisfying, French fries are a much-loved snack, but if you're experiencing numbness in your feet, they could be aggravating the issue, particularly the industrialized versions. These fries are typically cooked in low-quality oils and are full of trans fats and sodium, creating a dangerous combination for your blood circulation. The substantial salt content encourages fluid retention, which results in swelling that exerts pressure on your blood vessels and limits blood flow to your feet. Have you ever noticed your feet feeling swollen after eating a serving of fries? That is your body's response to the overload of sodium. But the problem doesn't end there. When frying oils are reused, they generate toxic compounds that can inflame the body and cause further harm to your circulation. This kind of chronic inflammation has the potential to damage peripheral nerves, which can worsen the sensations of tingling and numbness in your feet. The solution is to try preparing fries at home, either by baking them or by using an air fryer with just a small amount of oil and natural seasonings. Making this one simple change can help safeguard your circulatory health while still allowing you to enjoy a crunchy, satisfying snack. And don't go anywhere, the 3 worst vegetables for numbness in your feet are still to come. Number 9. Candies and processed sweets. Vibrant, colorful, and alluring, candies and other processed sweets can appear to be harmless indulgences. But if you're dealing with numbness in your feet, they might be making things worse. These sugary snacks are full of refined sugars and chemical additives, both of which have a negative effect on your circulation and nerve health. When you eat high-sugar foods like candy, your blood sugar levels shoot up very quickly. Over time, these repeated spikes can cause damage to your blood vessels, which diminishes the flow of blood to your extremities and leads to more frequent tingling and numbness in your feet. The danger is even more pronounced for individuals who are susceptible to neuropathy or have conditions like diabetes, where elevated sugar levels can speed up nerve damage. Another concealed threat is the use of artificial colorings and additives, which can inflame the body and disrupt nerve function. When your nerves don't receive the proper nutrients, the signals they transmit to the brain can become distorted, which makes the sensations of numbness and tingling even worse. And let's be realistic. A lot of people eat candy without much thought, using it as a quick reward. But is that brief moment of sweetness really worth compromising your circulation? The good news is that you don't need to forego treats entirely. There are healthier choices available, such as fresh fruits, dark chocolate in moderation, or homemade desserts made with less sugar, which can all satisfy your cravings while keeping your nerves and circulation in good shape. So, the next time you find yourself reaching for a processed sweet, take a moment to reconsider. Your feet will be grateful you did. Number 8. Regular and diet soda. Soda, regardless of whether it's the regular or diet version, stands out as a major offender behind numbness in the feet because it directly impairs both blood circulation and nerve health. Regular sodas are filled with an excessive amount of sugar, which results in blood sugar spikes, damages blood vessels, and prevents oxygen and nutrients from getting to your extremities, thereby increasing tingling and numbness. Conversely, Diet sodas are made with artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose. These substances can provoke inflammation, interfere with nerve function, and disrupt glucose metabolism, which can aggravate symptoms over the long term. Furthermore, the acids and various additives in these beverages contribute even more to poor circulation and nerve damage, making them particularly detrimental for individuals who are already prone to these kinds of health issues. Instead of drinking sodas, choose hydrating options such as infused water, herbal teas, or natural juices, all of which actively promote healthy circulation and help preserve nerve function. Number 7. Beer. Beer, which is often linked with relaxation and social gatherings, has the potential to significantly worsen numbness in your feet because of its detrimental effects on blood circulation and nerve health. The alcohol present in beer initially causes a temporary widening of the blood vessels, which gives a misleading sensation of warmth. However, this is soon followed by a constriction of the vessels, which impedes the flow of blood to the feet and can result in swelling, tingling, and numbness. Over time, consistent alcohol consumption can lead to a condition known as alcoholic neuropathy, which inflicts damage on the peripheral nerves and brings about a loss of sensation, burning feelings, and muscle weakness. In addition, beer is notably high in carbohydrates and sugars, which can cause blood sugar levels to spike, further complicating circulation problems. Another significant concern is dehydration, as alcohol acts as a diuretic. This process can make your blood thicker and your circulation more sluggish, thereby increasing the risk of inadequate oxygen delivery to your extremities. To reduce the potential harm, moderation is essential. Consider choosing non-alcoholic beverages, iced teas, or natural juices. If you do decide to drink beer, make sure to alternate it with water to remain hydrated and support your circulation. Number 6. Milk chocolate. Milk chocolate, as wonderfully comforting and tasty as it may be, can actually aggravate numbness in your feet. This is because it contains a high amount of sugar and saturated fats, both of which are detrimental to blood circulation and nerve health. The large quantity of sugar in milk chocolate triggers rapid spikes in blood sugar, which can harm blood vessels and inflame peripheral nerves, thereby making tingling and numbness more intense. You can think of your circulatory system as a flowing river. When there's an excess of sugar, it's like the water becomes thicker, making it more difficult for vital nutrients to get to the extremities. On top of this, the saturated fats in milk chocolate contribute to higher levels of bad cholesterol and encourage the buildup of fatty plaque within the arteries, which further impedes circulation in the feet and hands. Diminished circulation translates to more severe symptoms of numbness and tingling. The true risk is found in consuming it without restraint. Many people will have just one more square, only to find they've eaten the entire bar. However, not every type of chocolate is harmful. Dark chocolate that has a high cocoa content is rich in antioxidants that actually support circulation, provided it is eaten in moderation. So, the next time a craving for chocolate strikes, ask yourself if that fleeting moment of pleasure is worth compromising your circulation. Opting for healthier alternatives can be a simple change that has a significant positive impact on your overall well-being. Number 5. White and refined breads. White and refined breads, such as French baguettes and soft sandwich loaves, might appear to be innocuous, but they can actually exacerbate numbness in your feet. This is because they are made from highly processed refined flours. These flours are stripped of their fiber and nutrients, which causes them to be rapidly converted into sugar in your bloodstream. This leads to glucose spikes that can damage blood vessels and hinder circulation, which in turn intensifies tingling, numbness, and swelling in your extremities. Consistent consumption of white bread subjects the body to a barrage of quickly absorbed carbohydrates, triggering insulin spikes and silent inflammation. Both of these processes negatively impact your peripheral nerves and further limit the flow of blood to your feet. Additionally, the absence of fiber in refined bread makes poor circulation even worse because it doesn't help regulate sugar absorption. This leaves your blood vessels overwhelmed and makes symptoms like numbness and swelling more pronounced. However, you don't have to give up bread entirely. The solution is to make more intelligent choices. Whole grain breads that contain seeds offer fiber to help stabilize your blood sugar and support circulation. Pairing them with lean proteins like eggs or white cheeses can increase satiety without negatively affecting your vascular health. So, the next time you're at the bakery, think carefully before you grab that loaf of white bread. Your feet and your entire body will appreciate it. Number 4, industrial ice creams. Industrial ice creams can be wonderfully refreshing and delicious, but for anyone who is contending with numbness in their feet, they can be a secret adversary. These treats are loaded with refined sugars, trans fats, and chemical additives, which not only impair circulation but also interfere with the proper functioning of your peripheral nerves. The excessive amount of sugar in ice creams causes spikes in blood sugar, which, over time, can damage your blood vessels. This makes it more difficult for blood to get to your extremities and intensifies the sensations of tingling and numbness. Furthermore, the trans and saturated fats present in industrial ice creams are known to elevate bad cholesterol and encourage plaque to build up in your arteries. This further constricts circulation and diminishes the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your feet. The consequence is often swollen, heavy-feeling feet accompanied by persistent numbness. Another concealed risk is found in the chemical additives and artificial colorings, which can set off inflammation and worsen the symptoms associated with poor circulation. And there is another factor to consider. Because ice cream is cold, it leads to a temporary vasoconstriction or a narrowing of the blood vessels, which for a short time makes circulation even worse. But you don't have to abandon sweet, refreshing treats completely. Homemade ice creams created with natural fruits, yogurt, and no refined sugar are much healthier options that can still satisfy your cravings without harming your circulation. And now, the moment has come to reveal the 3 vegetables that, when eaten in excess, can be harmful to your feet. Number 3. Spinach. Spinach is widely recognized as a superfood, brimming with iron, fiber, and crucial vitamins. However, for certain individuals, it can paradoxically make numbness in the feet worse. The reason for this lies in its high concentration of oxalates, which have the potential to obstruct blood circulation and contribute to fluid retention. Oxalates have the ability to bind with calcium, creating tiny crystals that can place a burden on the kidneys and impede blood flow. This can result in swelling and more pronounced tingling in the extremities. If you have ever observed your feet swelling up after consuming spinach, it might be an indication that your body is not effectively processing these particular compounds. Moreover, for people who are on anticoagulant medications, the high vitamin K content in spinach can interfere with their treatment. This could potentially increase the blood's tendency to clot, which would further impair circulation and worsen numbness. Another point of concern is that consuming an excessive amount of spinach can lead to fluid retention. This retention can press on nerves and blood vessels, making it more difficult for blood to circulate and resulting in persistent tingling sensations. So, does this imply that you should remove spinach from your diet entirely? Not at all. The key is to practice moderation. Cooking spinach can help reduce its oxalate levels, which makes it easier for your body to handle. Also, incorporating a variety of leafy greens into your diet ensures you receive essential nutrients without overwhelming your system. Number 2. Broccoli. Broccoli is extensively celebrated for its fiber, vitamins, and minerals. However, for individuals who experience numbness in their feet, consuming too much of it can aggravate the symptoms, especially for those who are taking anticoagulant medications. The issue is that broccoli contains a high amount of vitamin K, which has a vital function in the process of blood clotting. When an excessive amount is consumed, it can disrupt circulation, making it more challenging for blood to get to the feet. This can lead to swelling, tingling, and a persistent feeling of numbness. To help you understand, think of your blood vessels as highways. If clots begin to form more readily, the flow of traffic slows down, which limits the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your extremities. But that is not the only issue. Broccoli also has compounds known as goitrogens, which, when present in large quantities, can interfere with thyroid function. You might ask why that is important. The thyroid is responsible for regulating your metabolism and circulation, so any imbalance can worsen poor circulation and make numbness more intense. Furthermore, consuming an excessive amount of broccoli, particularly in its raw form, can lead to fluid retention. This retention puts pressure on your peripheral nerves, which can further aggravate the feeling of numbness in your feet. However, this information should not lead you to eliminate broccoli from your diet. Moderation is the key. By rotating through different vegetables and maintaining a balanced intake, you can reap the nutritional advantages without overloading your body. If you are taking anticoagulants, it is crucial to consult with a doctor or a nutritionist to determine the appropriate amount for you to consume, ensuring you maintain both your vascular health and your overall well-being. Number 1. Swiss chard. Swiss chard is filled with fiber, vitamins A, C, and K, as well as potassium and calcium, which makes it an incredibly nutrient-dense option. Nevertheless, for individuals who are susceptible to numbness in their feet, fluid retention, or circulatory issues, consuming it in excess can be counterproductive. The primary problem stems from oxalates. These compounds can bind with calcium to form small crystals that obstruct circulation and encourage fluid retention. And what is the result of this process? The swelling in your feet can increase, placing pressure on nerves and blood vessels, which leads to tingling and numbness. But the concerns don't stop there. Swiss chard, much like spinach and broccoli, is also very high in vitamin K. For anyone on anticoagulant medication, an excess of vitamin K can interfere with the effectiveness of the treatment, which raises the risk of clot formation and further compromises circulation. The outcome is a diminished flow of blood to the extremities, which can make numbness more frequent and more intense. Another issue to be aware of is that raw Swiss chard can cause abdominal bloating and fluid retention in some people. This additional swelling can worsen nerve compression, thereby exacerbating the tingling sensations in the feet. So, is it necessary to completely remove Swiss chard from your diet? Not at all. The key is moderation, and it's important to note that cooking Swiss chard significantly reduces its oxalate levels, making it a safer option. Rotating different greens throughout your week is also a great way to prevent a nutrient overload and to maintain dietary balance. If you find that your numbness gets worse after eating Swiss chard, it might be a good time to reconsider your intake or to speak with a healthcare professional for personalized advice. Sometimes, making minor adjustments to your diet can result in significant improvements in your circulation and overall well-being. And if you would like to continue getting the best videos for your health, please subscribe to the channel. It exists for one purpose: to help you become a healthier person with a better quality of life. Assisting you is my mission. In the video that is now appearing on your screen, a video that is even more powerful for your health, just click on the screen to check it out.